Welcome back to Ask Dr. Clarke. Today's topic is, my church says I have to stay with my narcissist. Not a shocker. Many church leaders would have you stay and be destroyed rather than leave your abuser. Here's the picture. You are in a burning car and your church leaders are standing there watching you. They're just outside the car. You can get out of the car, but they tell you to stay in the car. You bought that car and so you have to stay in it. You know what God tells you to do? Get out of the car. Dr. Clarke's going to help you get out of the car. More on this when I read today's email and make my comments. First, if you like these YouTube videos and see their value, which again is outside the usual Christian box of advice and guidance, subscribe to my YouTube channel, tap the like button, and leave a rating and a review. Many of you are doing that. We appreciate it, and God is growing the ministry, helping more and more people. By subscribing and joining our team, you are supporting our mission to get spouses away from their abusers and to provide biblical guidance to all those in marital crisis. You name the marital crisis, I got a plan for it. You're not going to get the usual popular, unbiblical, and damaging Christian advice from me. You'll get unusual, frankly, not popular, no question about that, but biblical and effective advice. I'm not going to recommend anything I don't believe is rooted in the Bible. To find out more about Dave Clarke and my resources for spouses in crisis, go to my website, davideclarkephd.com. That's Clarke with an E. Now, today's email, which has, frankly, several questions kind of peppered throughout it, I'm going to read the email and answer the questions and make comments as I go. I like to comment as I go. You know that, if you've listened to me. She begins, I watched your YouTube video entitled Constant Emotional Abuse is Grounds for Divorce. It absolutely is. 1 Corinthians 7:15. She continues, it was spot on that the abuser thinks he does nothing wrong. He has told me this. Yeah, I'm sure he has, no question, and he believes it too. I had eventually started reacting to his abuse similarly to him. This is pretty common. Does God then see me, she asks, also as a reason the marriage was destroyed? No, he doesn't. It's common to eventually lash back at the abuser. It's not right, but you are forgiven. He is the one that destroyed the marriage. She asks, is it a guilt trip that the church counselor said, if I file for divorce, I still need to remain single or be married back to my abuser, or that will reveal my true intentions, showing I'm not a true Christian? Yes, it is a guilt trip, a ridiculous guilt trip. Worse, it's not biblical. You can file and don't have to remain single or marry the abuser again. One marriage to him is enough. Again, barring repentance and tremendous change in him, no, don't worry about that. These church leaders and counselors are also saying that because my abuser is now consistently showing up to church, Bible studies, counseling, he's acting like a Christian, and because I am not doing those things, I am not, and my true heart intentions are being revealed. Oh, please, he's faking spirituality, and they're buying it. They seem to miss the entire point that I am removing myself as a sign that something is wrong. Exactly. He's a master manipulator, she says. I believe it. His exterior works don't match his interior that I get. Yeah, she knows he's not repentant, and she's indicating that in her email here. She knows the true him, but the church leaders don't. They don't believe you. Here's a good question. Should I just cut all ties to this church without explanation and move on? Do I owe them an explanation? Yes, cut all ties without explanation. Don't waste your time. Move on. They've already made their intentions clear. They are abusers too, frankly. My abuser said that if I just disappear and don't talk to anyone, that the church will issue him a piece of paper showing he had biblical grounds for divorce. That's weird. This whole thing makes me nauseous. You know what? Me too. She says, I gave them a list of over 100 destructive, abusive tactics he's consistently doing, and some I have done too, which she admits I'm not proud of. She's the only one admitting any fault, out of mere frustration and severe distress. You know what? And they still don't believe it. Maybe 200 would have been enough. You know what? 300 wouldn't be enough. You tried, you spoke truth, and they don't care. She's feeling hurt, really hurt, that if I just disappear, the church will issue him freedom to no longer be bound and can remarry. That's exactly what they're going to do. You can't help it. Why would an abuser be allowed this? Well, because they're clueless. No accountability for everything I listed that I am going through. I know. I'm so hurt. I remove myself to protect myself, then he gets a certificate of divorce from the church so he's free to remarry. He'll just abuse the next woman. Yeah, that's exactly right. Let them give your abuser this piece of paper. It's not worth the paper it's written on. It's not biblical. Like many male church leaders, they side with the male abuser. It's the old boys club. You're right, he'll just abuse the next woman. With his church leader's blessings, you can't be concerned about that. They'll answer to God for that. You'll be free, first to heal and then to remarry if the person is a Christian. Get away from this counselor and this church ASAP. Never go back. And I recommend you read, if you haven't, Enough is Enough, How to Leave an Abusive Relationship with God's Help. That's why I wrote it. It'll confirm what you're doing and tell you exactly how to do it. And I also recommend I Didn't Want a Divorce. After the divorce, which is almost certainly going to happen here, your healing is important, so it's a 1-2 punch. Finally, my brand new book on Christian codependency, 20 Lies That Keep You with Your Abuser, is now available. It's on a special price, $5 off until June 30. Our printer did an amazing job. We got the books a lot sooner than we thought. So it is available now. You order the book now until June 30th. You're going to get $5 off, and the blonde, Sandy, will mail it to you right away.